Hey everybody, Josh for Populi here, and you want to see your financial aid information, don't you? And we don't want to dilly-dally, do we? Once you're a Populi user and when your school's administration makes it available, you can see details about your financial aid on your profile. You can also accept or decline awards, ask questions, upload files, and other stuff. Also, something to keep in mind, your school has behind-the-scenes settings that may or may not allow you to see everything that we're showing here. I'll call attention to those situations as we go. We're going to show you how to navigate to your financial aid details manually, but you should be aware that you'll also receive alerts about the aid process. For instance, we let you know when your aid application is in progress and when any aid has been offered to you within Populi. Clicking on one of these notifications will take you directly to the pertinent spot in Populi. You can get to aid by going to your profile and then to financial aid. When you hit that page, you may see not much at all. If no aid has been offered, if you don't have an in-progress aid application, you won't have anything showing up here. In some situations, that could be because the ball's in your court. It's good to be aware of the financial aid year drop down here. This should default to the pertinent year, but if you're not seeing something that you think you should, check the year. If you have an in-progress aid application, you may see aid application components. Those show up across the top, and those are typically things that require your attention. You can click to view the instructions on one of those components, find out what you have to do. As you work through those requirements, you'll see those question marks turn to either accepted or rejected as your aid officer reviews them. Sometimes the instructions on a component will involve you uploading a file. That happens right over here under the Files sill. Click Add, find the file, upload it, and save. When you do that, your aid officer at the school will receive a notification. This is one of those spots where what you see will depend upon what the financial aid team at your school allows you to see. You may see your aid summary up here that breaks down cost of attendance and the student aid index, or you may not. Once awards are offered to you, they'll show up here. Again, you may or may not see options to accept or decline them. If they show up, you can click the buttons to manage those awards. Awards break down into grants, loans, work study, and VA. If the award is a loan or VA, you'll have the option to accept the full amount or accept a partial amount. Input the partial amount that you're accepting here and then save. If you have the aid summary, you'll affect what shows up there as you receive and accept or decline awards. If you don't, you'll still see details by award. You can ask questions that go to your financial aid officer. You may also receive questions from that officer. Up here, you can click this button to ask a question. You can use this drop-down to choose to ask a general question, or you can focus on a particular component that you're wondering about. Once you type up and submit your question, it'll show up over here on your profile, along with any questions that have come in from your aid officer. The questions can either be awaiting your response, open, meaning that you're waiting on a response, or solved. As you're replying to your aid officer, you can set your own question to solved just by checking this box and then clicking submit. These conversations can also take place over email. When you get a question notification in your email, you can just reply there and communicate with your aid officer that way. Authorizations are another feature that you may or may not see depending on how the aid team at your institution manages things. In certain situations, you can use Populi to authorize your school to use federal financial aid in various ways that they otherwise cannot. One of the settings applies to federal aid generally, and one of them applies directly to work study. Under Authorizations, if you click on Excess Aid, you'll get a description of what you're agreeing to. Federal law allows your school to automatically use federal financial aid, Pell Grants, direct loans, and other types to pay for your tuition, fees, and on-campus room and board. If you incur other charges outside of those categories, your school may automatically use federal aid to pay them only with your authorization. You can then choose to allow that or leave it alone. If you click on Federal Work Study, you can read the description there. Federal Work Study normally requires your school to pay you by check for hours worked. If you'd rather your FWS pay be applied directly to your student account in Populi and so pay down your eligible charges, you can authorize the school to do that. And then you can allow that or leave it set to no. One last thing, your school may or may not allow you to print out your own aid offer and financing plan. If they do, those will show up here and you can download them to your device or print from the browser. What a splendid look at financial aid on your profile. Splendid, splendid, splendid. Check the description for additional information about financial stuff in Populi, including a video about making online payments. I've been Josh for Populi. You've been great. Thanks for watching.